Wow. This is such a great night. It's really wonderful to be surrounded by so many involved and inspiring people. So many people I know. Blake, thank you so much. I don't even know what to say. And Paris and Absentia, thank you. Your friendship, Blake, and your willingness to upend your lives, both of you, and come here and present this award means so much to both of us. When I first met Blake, I thought he was one of those really cool people, which he is. And I've been privileged to know many over the years. But, oops, sorry, forgot about that part. But I had no idea what a life-changing experience Tom's would be. Guided by Blake and Candace's here, vision and talent, and his mantra of carpe diem, we have the rare opportunity to spend our days doing things that are incredibly tangible and changes that make people's lives for the better, and in the process build an amazing community and get people involved. There are so many people here that are deserving of applause, but I also really want to especially thank Sarah Pillsbury for the guiding light of Liberty Hill for over 30 years. And also, I don't know if she's still here. And also so many of our extraordinary friends and family, many of whom have traveled to be here tonight. Your love and friendship really sustains us in everything that we do. And to the entire amazing Liberty Hill staff who turned themselves inside out to make this evening really sing, and the staff at the Century Plaza for your great service and the care with which you give it. Thank you so much. So I'm just going to say, we all shape our own lives, but there are certain people who help light the path at various times along the journey. And John and I have been blessed with extraordinary guides in our lives, but most especially our parents, Martin and Katie Manulis, Seymour, or the Shagman, to those of you who knew him, and Billy Heller. 4 people curious about the world around them, caring about others, believing in our ability to improve our lives, ourselves, and our society. Only one of them is still here with us. She's been a longtime supporter of Liberty Hill in her own right, and she is her nonstop activism on a host of causes, which is incredibly long and incredibly impressive and empowering. And she's also inspired an entire generation of women with her CEDAW. And so I'd like you to please join me in sending love and appreciation to my mother, forever young, remarkable Billy Heller.
Don't go into me.
Okay. Huh? Okay. Good night. So I was going to say, when I first heard that we were going to be honored by Liberty Hill, I have to admit that I really thought that this should really go to John. I mean, after all, I've never met anyone who is as dedicated and committed to change, to progress, to not only imagining what is possible in the universe, but actually making it happen. And I mean really making it happen, as we spoke about before. John is my hero. So at this point, I'm going to say, as they say in Washington, this gentlewoman from Beverly Hills yields the remainder of my time to the Speaker of the House, at least the Speaker of our House, John.
Thank you. That was my ex-girlfriend. Liz and I have been together for 24 years, actually. I know. We've only formally worked together twice, but we've each served as a path lighter for each other, which means that we're generally on the same path if we're not always in the same city. We've been called post-industrialists. I think, in other words, that means we don't actually make things, we make things happen. So we have a lot of projects, and we have a lot of projects that are kind of members of our family. We learn together, we grow together, we cry together, and because we don't have kids, we study each other a lot. And I've noticed that we all spend our early years kind of like a sponge. We see things, we hear things, we taste things, we feel things, and none of it is involving prejudice or agenda. But as we grow up, as I said, we've been together 24 years. So as we grow up, various pressures conspire to avoid that risk of failure and to build a shell around our fragile egos. And the irony is that we become a better skier by falling. We become better lovers by being guided by our partners not by our own needs. And we become better leaders by being led. In other words, avoiding risk is not a formula for security or for success. When Liz stepped off of her path, and into Blake's startup vision of building a sustainable model for solving specific problems for people in the world, she embraced the unknown. And that risk has invigorated and stimulated and rewarded her in innumerable ways. I've always felt that if someone said to me, if you walk around the corner with me, we'll be in Haiti helping to heal people and rebuild their lives, and we'll take care of all that stuff in your life while you're gone, I'd be there. That specific offer never really appeared in front of me. But when I stepped off of my path to join the Obama campaign, I resolved to help myself to engage and work without regard for my ego. All I can say is it's easier said than done. I've never climbed Everest or gone to war, although some of my movies felt like war. But I've gone back to school when I was 50 to train to be an EMT, and I've held a friend's hand as they died. And none of that prepared me for the seemingly simple challenge of unstrapping that armor of achievement and stepping into an unknown world. Reckless, maybe, but fulfilling in ways that I can't tell you and I couldn't imagine at the time. That experience tested me deeply and made me a better and more effective person. That is exactly what makes Liberty Hill such an extraordinary and effective organization. Because Liberty Hill is committed to being guided by those people who are in need of change, rather than by those who are in power. And the difference is all the difference. Equally as important, Liberty Hill lights the path for the leaders of tomorrow. I was really moved just now by Amy Shore and Chris Gabriel. Their work highlights the heart and soul of Liberty Hill's new Leadership Institute that was mentioned earlier and was founded in honor of a dear friend of many of ours and my roommate and mentor at many company retreats over the years, Wally Marks. The Wally Marks Institute nurtures the progressive leaders of tomorrow, and it's a program that can truly affect the path of our society, and it's a program that Liz and I are proud to support. We all know that the country's at a critical juncture. We're faced with complex problems, issues, and agendas that have tremendous ramifications for our children and for the rest of the world. Robert Kennedy once said, "Each time a man stands up for an ideal, or acts to improve the lot of others, or strikes out against injustice, he sends forth a tiny ripple of hope, and crossing each other from a million different centers of energy and daring, those ripples build a current that can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance." We become a better world the same way we become a better person, one step at a time, by opening ourselves to new people, new ideas, and new challenges, by challenging ourselves to engage and to make a difference, by taking a risk and stepping off the path and into the need of the moment. As Liz said, this is an extraordinary evening, not only because of the unique organization that we all come together to support and the work that we celebrate here, but because everyone here is a truly special person. You may not think about that often. You may not even realize it, but you are. Just the fact that you're here and that throughout the year you remain caring, you participate, you influence, and you give. Your engagement makes each of you a hero in our eyes. We are humbled to be here on the stage with the inspiring folks of Inner City Struggle and the remarkable Walter Mosley. And we are honored to be here in your company because we are all believers. We are all activists. We are all change makers. Together we can make the tide turn against injustice and greed. We can turn the tide against ignorance and fear, and against the rule of entrenched power over the idealism and the dreams of those without. Together we can do remarkable things. Please seize the moment. Thank you all, and thank you, Liberty Hill.
Got to give the people